Peter Brock has been low profile but camped right on the pace, and Peter obviously confident you can screw even more out of it tomorrow.
Yes, Gary. Driving around today, I didn't really have a clear road with a set of tyres that were at optimum operating temperature. I was going to have a bit of a go, but the boys hung out a time of about 21.8, and I thought, well, that's pretty good.
Winner of the recent CRC Chemicals race at Amaroo Park in Sydney is John Harvey, who, of course, is backup driver to Peter Brock in the Marlborough Holden dealer team in car number 25.
Taking the left-hander up the mountain and still taking it very carefully.
Harvey's a smooth driver. He certainly won't take any risks here. There's no point in bending a car in these deplorable conditions. The big money is on the race tomorrow, $100,000. Okay, down through the S's. How slow. Very gingerly down through there. Heading down onto Conrod Straight. John Harvey had a bad accident here several years ago in a sports car. Back running stronger than ever in the backup Marlborough Holden dealer team Commodore.
Now putting the power down the straight after taking it so very carefully across the top of the mountain. The right-hander into pit straight for John Harvey. And a time, 2 minutes, 46.03. Were the times with that 42.67 from Bob Morris. Can Brock beat it?
Peter Brock, of course, the man they say owns Mount Panorama. A mortgage on this race, and I would think very, very keen to set fastest qualifying time today. And our aerial shot, just look at the puddles of water as Brock heads on up the mountain. Over the top now, trying to squeegee all that water out, obviously on wet weather tyres and very, very treacherous conditions. Heading down through the S's, Peter Brock. Not only is Peter Brock fast, he is just so smooth.
Maintaining a great line, even under these conditions, shows what a remarkable driver this man is.
Okay, coming down on the approach to Conrod Straight. Tell you what, Gary, this is going to be a quick time. He has been so fast and so smooth over the entire racetrack.
I think he's going to edge Morris out here on times. Coming into the corner. Let's look at the clock. It's going to be 2 minutes 41.59.
Peter Brock, fastest time so far.
Was it really? I had no idea. It's very slippery and very wet, and a bit of an exploratory lap in some respects, but well, that's rather pleasing, yeah.
You seem to have a lot of grip. In fact, watching you from the helicopter shot was like watching a speedboat going through water.
I was trying to keep the car very square to the road, Evan. I'm not trying to get too much attitude on it, and using up the car's potential to brake well and get the power down well, rather than sort of sliding through the corners. It was pretty desperate through Reed Park, and McPhillip had the tail out a bit, actually.
And it's the big boy, Peter Brock, the man who owns Bathurst, heading up, trying to beat the times that have been, well, his previous time that's already been bettered. Bobby Morris and, of course, Alan Moffat. Okay, heads down through the S's. Sideways there, but it's still raining very heavily indeed at the top of the mountain. So smooth indeed is Peter Brock. Looking for another win. His co-driver, of course, in the race tomorrow is going to be Jim Richards, who loves the rain, and Brock seems to be doing a good job in it himself.
There are 3 quicker times than Peter Brock so far. Bartlett, Moffat and Morris. He's got to post a good time here. Here it comes, 2 minutes, 39.04.
39.04, which makes you second fastest, but it looks as though it's getting heavier, the rain, up the top of the mountain.
Yes, it was. I thought before that it might be a little bit better for us, that run over the mountain, but then it was the puddles were back and there was no dry line or no swept line, so perhaps they had the rain is sprinkling down on top of the mountain.
39.04, which makes you second fastest, but it looks as though it's getting heavier, the rain, up the top of the mountain.
Yes, it was. I thought before that it might be a little bit better for us, that run over the mountain, but then it was the puddles were back and there was no dry line or no swept line, so perhaps they had the rain is sprinkling down on top of the mountain.
V8s. This is the Holden V8, the most popular engine in the race because it's powering 14 Commodores. As you can see, it's a much smaller engine than the Jaguar V12, even though it's not much smaller in capacity, 5 litres. But because it only has the 4 cylinders on each side, it's much shorter. It doesn't have overhead camshafts, push rods. It's a much simpler engine, not designed for high performance, but designed for touring and lots of low-down power. By the way, forget the chain. That's just there so that the Holden dealer team, whose spare engine this is, can lift it to put it into the car. There's no carburetor on the top, and if you'd like to see how the V8 looks in place, here's a quick glance at the motor in Peter Brock's car. And now the carburetor has been added. That's this device. It's a 4-barrel carburetor. You can see the 4 barrels here, and that is merely a mixing device to mix air and fuel in the correct proportions. Now, it's very important that you get air in that's reasonably cold, or else you won't get the right sort of efficiency. So for the run, they fit a cold air scoop, which is this device, which blankets off the motor pretty effectively. to make sure that air comes in from the colder part in the front here, sweeps up. There's an insect trap here to make sure you don't swallow any cockatoos, and then purified air will go down into the engine. Now let's look at something different.
The Marlborough Holden dealer team were well supported during the parade. Peter Brock is certainly going to be driving like the devil at Bathurst. And he had a couple of the devil's advocates there yesterday. It was a marvel. Okay, he's now in.
And Brock in the pits. They're checking with the driver to see just what the trouble is. It's the back tyre. Peter taking some of the fruit juice there, speaking to Bruce Nowacki at the moment. I won't go near him, he's got a lot on his mind to such an early stop. He did have a coming together with Kevin Bartlett. It may just have been some rubbing at the back there. They've added fuel, but that was merely just to top up and take full advantage of it. I'll have a word to Bruce Nowacki now.
Okay, Peter Brock's car is now being backed out. By the look of it, they have completed repairs on Brock's car. He is still a number of laps down. And you can see the frantic work as they try to get the car out of their team pit area. They'll come down and bring it back into the pit road. Don't worry about the banners, boys.
Well, the $100 in lap money that he's got so far will pay for that replacement.
Okay, we'll see if he's coming straight. Okay, that's a shot from... low, he's not driving 25 because Johnny Harvey has come into contact with a car and is attempting to climb from the car. The
other car's going to lose his door if he doesn't shut it in a hurry.
Harvey is anything but happy about this arrangement. The other driver comes across the road. We'll see. Dearie me, what wretched luck there. Harvey tells it all by throwing his gloves on the ground. The other driver involved comes up and throws his gloves on the ground.
The Army Reserve, Jansen, goes through. The flag marshals frantic at this point, trying to look at the stream of traffic.
Okay, Harvey quickly sizes up the situation and is now trying to see if they can...
Flame under the car.
Flame under the exhaust pipe, probably still burning. That is a precarious position to be. You see how close the cars are when they come around the corner. And this is where the flag marshals have to be so much in command of the situation to advise drivers that there is an obstacle in front. So the flag marshals very quickly, or the extinguisher marshal there, making sure that the grass doesn't set alight under John Harvey's car. Very off-putting indeed. Well, okay, let's go down to the pit area where Bob Morris's co-driver, John Fitzpatrick, a co-winner of the race in 1976, sits in with Evan Green.
Thank you, Mike. Well, John was just saying this seems to be the classic case of a slow car problem.
It would seem so, Evan, yes. So many times in these long races, the slow cars play a very important part, and you obviously have to have a lot of slow cars to make up the numbers of the race. And I must say that looking at the screen so far, the slow cars have been very, very good. They look in their mirrors, but inevitably you're going to come across one when he's very, very busy and he can't look in the mirror, and a slight error of judgment either way can be the finish of the race for someone, and that's what we've seen here.
We've already seen Kevin Bartlett virtually put out of the race and into the pits for a long spell because of the problem. As we watch the view from inside the car of Peter Williamson going down through those S's, and there's the close shave with Johnny Harvey's tail there. Wretched luck for Johnny Harvey, really, in second place. And then obviously in some sort of incident with another car, a slow car on the other side of the track. But it's Harvey, the second runner, and the man for whom Peter Brock was going to drive as relief driver, obviously way out of the race. You've had your own car in the pits too, by the way, John Fitzpatrick. Bob Morris made an unscheduled stop in Falcon number 7. There we can see it with the other car. The first time we've had a really clear view of who else is there. Car 51 is the Chickadee Chicken car of Graham Bailey, the ex-Peter Williamson Toyota Celica, been a consistent performer this year, and it's Graham Bailey's car that's been involved in that incident with Johnny Harvey. Well, he's a very experienced at the time what had happened, but Johnny, who's sitting with me now, has been telling me what the problem was. It wasn't Graham Bailey's fault, and maybe John Harvey, you could just run through, as we watch Peter Williamson and other assorted cars go around, what the problem was.
Yes, Evan, I unfortunately just picked up a small rock, which punctured a tyre, so viewers don't spend any money. It was only a very small rock. I think if I'd have punctured the tyre at any other corner on the circuit, I'd have probably been able to save the car. But however, at the dipper, I just turned left into the dipper. The car went straight ahead, hit the Armco, bounced back out in the middle of the road, and unfortunately, the Chickadee Toyota, who I just passed, collected the back of the car. Was not his fault. Put him off the road into the wall on the other side of me, back into the Armco down the road a piece. The car at the time was just honking along beautiful. There was just no problem with it whatsoever. In fact, the tyre wasn't even worn out. I wasn't even planning on changing it at the pit stop. It would have done another 50 laps, so it was just pretty unlucky.
So for the second year in succession, a rock has claimed one of the front runners, because Johnny Harvey running in second spot at the time. Now, Peter Brock's car is still out there after a fairly traumatic start, with the back end having to be changed. Jim Richards is at the wheel, and the reports from our crew down here in the pits is that Jim Richards is turning in by far the quickest times as we watch the George Fury, that's Bluebird go round. But our New Zealander, Jimmy Richards, is flying around in 2:22. He's 4 seconds and 5 seconds a lap faster than the leaders.
That's right. Jim really is a sensational driver. The viewers may not know that Jim only did 4 laps of practice in the lead up to this race. He did one warm-up lap. His second, or his first flying lap, was a 2:23. And that's all he's done all week, and he's jumped in the car now doing 22s. That's really fantastic effort.
Those are the fastest times he's ever recorded, even in the A9X days with the Tirana. So he's going...
Well, the Commodores handle a lot better than the old Tiranas. I mean, they haven't got the speed down the straight of the Fords or the Camaros, but around the bends, there's nothing that can beat a Commodore, and Jim is really using it up to its extreme at the moment.
Evan Green, if I can interrupt for a moment. John Harvey, if you're still there, John.
Yes, Mike.
When are you going to break the Bathurst jinx?
Look, mate, people have been talking about me winning. I mean, really, all I want to do is try and finish at Bathurst without even worrying about winning it.
Absolutely incredible. And I mean, the problems that have beset the Marlborough Holden dealer team today have been problems that have, you can understand one car, certainly, but to have both cars and everything go wrong all of a sudden, how has that put the spirits of the team at this stage?
Well, I haven't really had a chance to talk to lads. They'll obviously be very disappointed. I mean, I'm totally crushed. I mean, my car was just honking along so well, and I thought I can do this all day long. At least I can finish second here. I didn't think I could beat Dick unless he had some problem, but all things being equal, I don't think I could have beaten him. But, I mean, we had a day like this a few years ago in Adelaide where both cars were out within about 5 or 6 laps, but I guess everybody has a bad day occasionally.
That was David Hobbs in the left-hand drive BMW. Maybe got a bit of sand that was still caught up in the muffler, dropped down on the tyres. Had a half spin there. Seems to have got the car okay. I don't know whether they had any other trouble, but I'm sure David Hobbs will be now looking for any possible flat spots on the tyres. Would you say so, John?
I'd say so, yeah. Also, a problem that we've been facing out there today is there's a lot of rocks on the circuit where I guess people are cutting corners. I loaded just over this section here that's on view now. You come over that hill, you can't see over the top, absolutely flat through there, and the circuit was just strewn with rocks, and it was either the lap that I crashed or the lap before. But I've obviously picked up a rock there somewhere. That is a problem.
Thank you, John. We've been following Freddie